All right. Greetings. A question comes up occasionally on why are game developers so likely to destroy their work? Eventually, when the new game comes out, they shut down the old work and they're like, you got to play the new thing. And there's a lot of answers for this. Some of it's ideological because they don't want you having access to the old material because maybe you're still having fun with that. A lot of it comes down to money. And some of it comes down to what goes on in the industry in general. But yeah, this is Freedom Phil. Like, subscribe. Let's get into it. And hey, turn up the video speed. Why do I always say that? Because you should be watching this video after when it goes up. It uploads to 1.75. Whatever's comfortable for you. But for God's sakes, don't listen to videos at normal speed. Let's get into it. Over the course of my life, I've seen this conversation come up from time to time. They're like, well, we really love this game, but now the server's going down and they're just pretty much eliminating it, which is really a bummer, especially if you actually made a big character in it. And if they let you transfer some of your material, your swag over to the next game, that'd be one thing. But a lot of times they don't. So you basically got to start over. So some of the games that really lasted forever, that was the beauty of them lasting forever because you'd been playing for so long that you have like a legacy kind of character. One of the other problems with this is that eventually you have some characters that are just so beefed up that, like if you're a noob starting on it, it's like you're just fodder, which can be a bummer. But then it comes back to why do they want to get rid of your option to play old games? And the simple answer is that a lot of the new games, they're okay. Some of them are great, but a lot of them actually suck. And they know it. They know that the little culture war they've had in, entertainment isn't really that popular with a lot of people. But if you have no other choice but the choices they give you, it's like going to a high school cafeteria. You get this. It's not like the option where your mom makes you lunch and she cares about you and she's like, here, son or daughter or whatever, have food that I love making for you. And you have like cobbler or something, Now, it's yo-hee-ho slop, yo-hee-ho slop. It's like, dude, seriously, like a pizza that sucks. And that's the problem, in my opinion, with a lot of the gaming. They know what they're producing in the West is garbage. And that's why they hate the Asian markets. They hate the online, the PC. And also the reason they hate the PC. And then here's the thing. Yes, PCs generally cost more, but you have such a wide array of everything. But then we go back into why exactly is it they don't want you playing their classic games and why there's actually a market for it. And this actually kind of goes into something I've noticed in the car market as well. And I know that, that's a little different cars and video games. Ages ago, when you only have the big players in America, much like with the major consoles way back in the day, they all had to really compete against each other for a while and produce better and better stuff. But if you go back to the cars, the big players, what you saw was a handful of individuals, and your cars would only last 100,000 miles. And if they made it to 200, you were amazed, before, needs major issues. Then along comes Japan, the foreign influence. And they actually limited the type of vehicles you could bring in from those countries purposely so the American car market would still maintain its dominance. And this is kind of what they've tried to do with gaming. They don't want you having the option of some other place, some other thing, some indie-made game, because God forbid you might decide, hey, I am going to spend not just my money, because you could probably get the indie games, cheaper, vastly cheaper, but your time. See, the money's the big goal, but it's your time that's the real coin as you get older. Well, ironically, with the cars, because the Asian market forced them to make better vehicles over the course of the years, American cars have gotten better because of Asian, I'd like to say, and European, but there's a lot of European stuff that's just crap. I'm just being honest. And so Asian cars have made American cars better. Now, because Asian cars have been here for so long, now we see a decline. Now we see more planned obsolescence. And that is exactly what you see for cell phones, your video games, and everything. Planned obsolescence. Because they give you something that's pretty good in the beginning, and then shitify it. And gaming is that exact example. How is it that they've known since dawn of man what men want to see? When the majority of gamers are generally men, young men, teenagers, a lot of girls these days. But look, it used to be dominated pretty much just by men. And then once some guys got rich, some nerds or whatnot, then suddenly women are like, gaming? That's interesting. Glomming on. And I'm not trying to not mock female gamers, but I'm just being real about it. Honestly, I think sometimes a lot of female gamers, it's just Gooner bait. I always thought that it'd be funny to make a Pokemon called Gooner Chew or the Goonermon. But when you think about it from the perspective of business, let's say I go back. I've got as you get older, even if you're non-working, because you always got something to work on the house, you got something to deal with the yard, you got something to deal with this. You have less and less time, and the nostalgia ends up becoming a friend and an enemy for the gaming community. I can't remember the last time I played Mario Brothers 3. It's been years. How many of you remember the game Mario All-Stars? Had all the games. Oh yeah, it was the shit. And then you go along and so pissed. I found my copy for PS3 or PS2, I can't remember. Jak and Daxter, the trilogy. I was like, where the hell? All last winter when I stayed here, I'm like, where is that? I really want to play that because it progressively got better. Every minute you spend playing one of those old games is one less minute you're playing that brand new game. And that's really what they have a problem with. That problem is that if you can take something that was on PS1, PS2, and PS3, and people are still able to have fun with that, and it would cost a fraction of the budget. I mean, good example, when Oblivion got remade. Oblivion gets remade, a remaster, and people went crazy for that. And it was $50 versus what is it, $80 now? 90, I don't know. You look at what they're charging for the Switch 2, and it comes with Mario Kart whatever. I'm noticing a lot of people don't give a damn. It seems like the shine on the Mario Kart is kind of off. I mean, sure, it's a good game, but it's not a reason to buy that console. And they're showing all these new games that are going to be coming out, and that's nice. But a lot of them just seem like remakes of what you put on Switch. So if that's the case, and in my case, I got a Switch and a couple DSs. I've got a ton of games I've never played for my DS. I bought them because this is kind of a pro tip, and it probably won't be able to do this in the future, but you'll still be able to get older stuff if you still got older consoles. Or don't tell people, a fucking emulator. I mean, you're going to see more people that want to play a game sailing the high seas to get it because they're just like, I can just get it and enjoy it without, you can't buy that anymore because we don't want to sell that to you, or, you have a console and eventually wears out. It's been a number of years since I played Pokemon Aloha, and it was a fun game. There were some few things I didn't unlock back then. So if I'm playing that old game, am I buying that new console? And the answer is no. If I'm playing something that came out for DS or Switch, or one of these old consoles, because I've got a couple of giant totes of gaming equipment from way back in the day. And the same thing goes for Magic cards too. Some of the crap they put out in Magic the Gathering, I just look at it and I'm like, what are you doing? The hell is this? And I know I sound like an old crotchety gamer. Maybe I am one. But let me point out something. We had the best graphics we had back in the 90s, and people just played the fuck out of this game. So how many of you guys remember Mortal Kombat, whatever number of Mortal Kombat? And then it kind of went on to where it is today. It wasn't like there was a little bit of story and a lot of punching and blood. And if you did that special move, you and your buddies were hanging out fucking your kids. So got a pizza, you got some soda, some bullshit that'll rot in your teeth because America. And you just had a fucking blast playing that. There's a lot of games that you could make to that level of PS3, tops PS3 level, and people would have a blast. I mean, let's just admit it. The Switch 2 or the Switch, they're not groundbreaking in technology. They're just convenient and portable. So you could make a bunch of games for, let's be honest, a handheld portable console Steam Deck or whatever, or PC that require almost little if nothing. And don't have all the nanny nagging bull crap that we get in the West. The HR Karens that are like, no. Like games made by committees. One of my heroes once said this line. There's a guy called Terry O'Reilly. He had a show called The Age of Persuasion. Go to the parks in any city and you will see no statues that were dedicated to committees. You know why? Because committees make slop, shit, and bloat. And, you look at what the ideological warfare, not to drag this into politics here, but look, it's been long known that we won against the Soviets in the Cold War as far as, economically, militarily, our ability, we could just produce a better life and everybody could see that. But ideologically, our schools were taken over, colleges, and a lot of our business institutions. And this whole infiltration, sleep with the right people to make sure you have power over them, power to threaten their job, and then power to control them. And one might even look at the Epstein situation and wonder, was some foreign agent doing the exact same thing? Look at all the weird crap that's been happening in your countries. And then maybe think that. Why wouldn't that happen in business? And so it's not like a lot, let's be honest, most gaming is for guys, if we're being honest about this. Yes, there's chicks that game, but how much of chick gaming is literally just chicks gaming so gooners will watch their stuff, and then the gooners will basically donate to their stream, donate to their OnlyFans or whatever. Okay, you get my point. Chick gaming, yes, there are some serious female gamers that really love gaming, but it's vastly majority made for guys. So if you were trying to sell a vehicle to a certain demographic, why wouldn't you just make it for the demographic you're actually trying to sell to? And that's what the American gaming is completely forgot. Therefore, that's part of the reason they fear your old games. That nostalgia, like way back in the day, Final Fantasy VII. They fear that you're going to enjoy that game. You're going to spend that, not just the money they never made, but the time. You're going to choose to spend your time, because the older you get, the more you realize you got to go to work, you got to pay your bills, you got to do this, you got to do that. You don't have the time. They goddamn fear that. And another good example was, you remember StarCraft or Warcraft on the computer, and it's just like, for whatever reason, you could look back and you're like, just to feel the way you did before. And you'll never get back to exactly what you were, but just a little spark of nostalgia, like playing the old Magic card sets, watching the older anime. They never want to have to compete with the fact that something they made in the past. Their artwork of the past, you can look at as a classic. Their artwork today is like modern art slop. Look, we duct taped a banana to the wall. Modern art. More like a way to launder money. Oh, I'll buy that banana for $120,000. Somebody's paying for organs or coke. But the point being is that, yeah, if somebody is completely satisfied with what they have on the past, and I often see this when people ask, well, what do you want to see somebody play? I try not to really, say Breath of Fire or, something from the early PS era. Like, when's the last time you saw someone play Legend of the Dragoon? And that's a long fucking game, by the way, so people would never get through that. There's a ton of stuff out there that's just, it's ripe for the picking. And then if I had kids, for instance, I would require, before we go out and buy that new game, first I want to see the reviews on that new game. But first, I want you to play one or two, three classics. Like, here, play Link to the Past. Here, play FF7. Don't bother with FF8. It was too emo. And fuck, if you thought FF8 was emo, you could play 9, skip 10. 10 was okay. 10 had good music, to be honest, but it was emo as fuck. But there's so many classic games that you'd never need a new console. And that's kind of where I look at it, and I'm hoping the future consoles don't exist. You just build your own handheld system or your own, PC at home. That's what I'm hoping, because I don't know, man. I just want to buy the good title and I want to skip the rest of your crap. But that's just my thoughts. Peace.